registrars must ensure that the following rules are enforced. Under the Section 8A of the UDRP, registrants may not transfer a registration to another registrant during a pending administrative proceeding or for a period of 15 business days after an administrative proceeding is concluded. Note that the business days are counted as observed in the location of the registrar's principal place of business. Registrants may not transfer a registration to another registrant during a pending court proceeding or arbitration action related to the domain name unless the party to whom the domain name registration is being transferred agrees in writing to be bound by the decision of the court or arbitrator. The UDRP requires registrars to cancel any transfer of a domain name registration to another registrant that is made in violation of these rules. As with transfers between registrants, under Section 8B of the UDRP, registered name holders may not transfer a registration to a different registrar during a pending administrative proceeding or for a period of 15 business days after such proceeding is concluded. Here, again, business days are counted in the location of the registrar's primary place of business. The UDRP does not, however, prevent registrants from transferring a domain to another registrar during a pending court action or arbitration, as long as the domain name will continue to be subject to the proceedings commenced against the registrant in accordance with the terms of the UDRP. If a registrant transfers a domain name to a new registrar during the pendency of a court action or arbitration, the dispute will remain subject to the domain name dispute policy of the registrar from which the domain name registration was transferred. In short, no transfers of domain name registrations are permitted during an administrative proceeding or for 15 business days after the administrative proceeding is concluded. Transfers during a pending court proceeding or arbitration are also prohibited except where the domain name and/or new registrant continue to be subject to and bound by the decision in the case. As we just discussed, there are circumstances under which registrants are prohibited from transferring domains during disputes. Section 7 of the UDRP requires registrars to enforce these prohibitions. Section 7 explains that registrars must generally maintain the status quo during a dispute. Registrars may not cancel, transfer, activate, deactivate, or otherwise change the status of any registration pursuant to the UDRP, except as required or permitted in Section 3. There are 3 scenarios under Section 3 of the UDRP in which registrars are required to make changes to registrations. First, a registrar must cancel, transfer, or make other changes to a registration if it receives written or appropriate electronic instructions from the registrant or its authorized agent to take such action, provided, however, the prohibitions against transfers in Section 8 that we just discussed still apply. Second, a registrar must cancel, transfer, or make other changes to a registration upon receipt of an order from a court or arbitral tribunal of competent jurisdiction requiring such action. Third, registrars must implement panel decisions made in administrative proceedings pursuant to the UDRP, or a subsequent version of the UDRP if one is adopted. Finally, registrars are permitted to cancel, transfer, or otherwise make changes to a registration in accordance with the terms of the registration agreement or other legal requirements.